Will there be a ban in Bali? CLIA's rebuttal to the proposed Greece cruise line fees. Francine became a hurricane yesterday and has now been downgraded. The peepers are falling for fall. An earthquake in Malibu this morning. Stay tuned to get the details on these stories and more. Bringing you the top travel headlines from around the world now. But first, BTTravel News. I'm Kathleen, and this is your World Travel Information Channel, giving you the information to help you make informed decisions so your adventures are the safest and best they can be. We also share insights into the new and innovative ways to travel around the world. Now on to the first headline. Tuesday, it was reported that Indonesia has agreed to set a moratorium on the construction of hotels, villas, and nightclubs in some areas on the tourist resort island of Bali. On September the 8th, a senior minister named Luhut Panjaitan was quoted by a news website, Detik, saying the moratorium could stretch up to 10 years. This is being done in hopes to reform tourism in the area. Loads of tourism have caused havoc with the locals and overdevelopment of the precious land, causing strain on the local infrastructure and environment. A timeframe has not yet been set for the moratorium. However, an audit to reform tourism on the island is currently underway to try and get things going. In February of this year, a tourism tax of 150,000 rupiah, or about $9 was introduced for foreign tourists. Last month, Tourism Minister Sandiaga Uno warned, quote, South Bali was close to over-tourism. A 10% increase could push us into that territory. We must avoid a situation like Barcelona, where tourists became public enemies, unquote. Yesterday, as reported by the state news agency Antara, quotes the interim governor of Bali, made Mahendra Jaya, saying, quote, the provincial administration of Bali has made a recommendation to the coordinating minister of maritime affairs and investment, who is Luhut Binsar Panjaitan, that the proposed moratorium is for 1 to 2 years on the new building of hotels, villas, discotheques, etc., and beach clubs. If implemented, the moratorium would apply in Denpasar, the capital, and the regencies of Badung, Gianyar, and Tabanan, also known as Sabargita. Time will tell the future of Bali's tourist areas. Headline 2. Tuesday, we reported that Mykonos and Santorini would introduce a cruise line visitor tax of about $22 per passenger starting next summer. And although Cruise Lines International Association, or CLIA, supports this, they commented that any measures taken by the Greek government should benefit both local projects and communities. CLIA has consistently called for more investment in port infrastructure, benefiting both local communities and visitors. CLIA also emphasized that Greek port fees should be compared with other Mediterranean ports to ensure they remain attractive and competitive. CLIA argues that these proposals should not focus solely on cruises. The cruise sector has bolstered Greece's economy, contributing £1.4 billion in 2022. He is hoping that any new measures imposed by the government will be developed in close consultation with the impacted municipalities, ports, and tourism stakeholders locally whose livelihoods depend on cruise tourism. Headline 3. Yesterday, Francine roared into a hurricane in the Gulf of Mexico with maximum sustained winds around 90 miles per hour. Air carriers in the United States have waived change fees for those traveling to or from impacted airports. And FlightAware.com is showing that some flights have been canceled. Dangerous storm surges, flooding, rainfall, damaging winds, and tornadoes will impact Louisiana and other parts of the Gulf Coast and south. As Francine moved inland today, she has been downgraded to a tropical storm. However, the system and its eventual remnants will still pack flooding rains and tornado threats late into this week and possibly into the weekend. It will impact a broad area that extends from the lower Mississippi Valley into Georgia. The Gulf Coast is also on watch of a low pressure system, which could develop into something more over the weekend. If you are in or headed into these areas, remain vigilant. Reach out to your hotel, air carrier, and your travel advisor for updates on what. Headline 4. Fall is upon us, one of my favorite seasons. You can still find some last-minute adventures out there, but more importantly, this will help you plan for next year. All over the US, one can find colors galore, and whether you want to hike it, bike it, cruise it, drive it, or rail it, there are options for you. AccuWeather has provided this map of when colors will be peak in 2024. Keep in mind that weather has the ultimate control over our yearly colors. Pumpkin spice and everything nice just goes hand in hand with a little leaf peeping. Paul Pastelok is AccuWeather's lead long-range meteorologist, and he is predicting, quote, "I think the best places to go are parts of the Midwest. The trees should have nice reds and oranges, and that could extend all the way down to parts of the Ozarks and parts of southern Missouri," unquote. So let's talk travel. Tour companies like Insight Vacations offers multi-day with almost all-inclusive tours in New England area in small groups. Globus Journeys also offers a 9-day similar tour, all-inclusive or almost all-inclusive options. You could do either of these tours and knock out a bunch of states from your all 50 states list. Viking and American Cruise Lines both offer late September and October cruises through the Great Lakes. If a stationary adventure is what more your style, try on one of these for size. Twin Farms or the Lodge at Spruce Peak. Both are in Vermont. Or the Omni Mount Washington Resort in New Hampshire, allowing you great views of the fall covers. And of course, I could go on and on, but if you are a color seeker like I am, there is no shortage of options when it comes to leaf peeping. Contact your local travel advisor or use ours. The link is below. Just this morning, there was a 4.7 magnitude earthquake just outside of Malibu, California. This could be felt over 100 miles away. According to the U.S. Geological Survey, or USGS, the quake's epicenter was located 4.5 miles north of Malibu. There were no immediate reports of injuries or structural damage, said LA County Sheriff Sergeant Adam Zecco. At this time, there have been no reports of aftershocks, tsunamis, or closures of any kind. I would strongly suggest that if you are in or headed to this area, be mindful that this situation could change at any moment. Check with your hotel and your airlines before you venture out. As always, any supplier that I've mentioned in this newscast is purely for your informational purposes only. I'm not endorsed by or paid by any supplier. My goal is to give you the best in what is new or out of the way in travel options. Well, that's it this time. Thank you for joining us. Make sure you subscribe, give us a thumbs up, please, and turn on that notification bell to stay in the loop of what's happening in the world of travel. Ta-ta for now. Wishing you safe travels and great adventures ahead.